They said turning 60 meant slowing down, less energy, fading passion, and losing that spark. But they were completely wrong. I'm Dr. James, a men's health specialist with over 3 decades of experience helping older adults regain their vitality, confidence, and deep connections, all through simple, natural steps most people completely miss. I've worked with thousands of seniors nationwide, and what I've learned may surprise you. Because while many think you need prescriptions, hormones, or pricey supplements to feel young again, the real solution is much simpler and far more powerful. There's one everyday food you've known forever that could unlock better circulation, support intimacy, and reignite that inner drive. Eggs. Yes, eggs. When prepared correctly, they can naturally help you feel more energetic, more connected, and more confident, even well into your 70s. In just a moment, I'll show you exactly how to use eggs to boost your energy, support hormones, and strengthen emotional closeness. So stick with me. This could change how you live life after 60. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss health tips created just for you. And if this is already resonating, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, just type blur. Your feedback helps me serve you better. First up, let's talk about the real power of eggs. They're much more than just a source of protein. For years, eggs were unfairly demonized due to outdated concerns about cholesterol and heart health. But modern research now supports what many traditional cultures have known all along. Eggs are one of the most complete and revitalizing foods out there, especially valuable as we get older. Once you hit your 60s, your body begins to shift in subtle but important ways. Hormones decline, blood flow slows, recovery isn't as quick, energy doesn't come as easily in the mornings, and intimacy can start to feel like a distant memory. But what if something as simple and familiar as an egg could help turn that around? Eggs deliver a powerful blend of nutrients that target the exact areas aging tends to hit hardest. They're rich in choline, which sharpens brain function and keeps your nervous system running smoothly. Vitamin D supports bone strength and helps boost testosterone, a hormone vital for maintaining energy, mood, and sexual wellness in both men and women. And then there's B12, an essential vitamin for cellular energy and mental clarity that many older adults don't get enough of. But there's even more. Eggs are packed with L-arginine, an amino acid that helps your body produce nitric oxide, a key compound that relaxes and opens up blood vessels. Better circulation means more oxygen-rich blood going to your heart, brain, and yes, your most intimate areas. For men, this supports firmer, longer-lasting erections. For women, it can enhance sensitivity and comfort, benefits that are deeply physical and emotionally meaningful. What makes eggs so remarkable is how effortlessly they support both hormone balance and blood flow, without expensive pills or drastic changes to your lifestyle. They're not a supplement, they're real, affordable food. When you eat them consistently and intentionally, eggs transform from a simple breakfast item into a powerful daily practice for wellness. Many people are amazed to learn that meaningful change doesn't come from some exotic new discovery, but from something they've known forever, just used more wisely. But here's the key. It's not just about eating eggs. It's how you eat them that unlocks their full potential. And that's exactly what we're going to cover next. Ready to discover how this everyday food can become your daily fuel for energy, connection, and intimacy? Let's dive in. Still watching and enjoying this? Drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to the second point. Second, let's talk about how to eat eggs for maximum vitality. The way we prepare and consume food, especially as we age, plays a major role not just in our health, but in how we feel inside our bodies. When it comes to eggs, it's not just about eating them. It's about unlocking their full potential through intention, timing, and balance. As we get older, our bodies become more sensitive to the food we eat and the way we treat them. The days of mindless eating and expecting the same energy in return are behind us. Now every decision matters. That's why how you eat your eggs is just as important as eating them in the first place. Start by choosing whole eggs, not just the whites. The yolk, often misunderstood and feared, is packed with most of the nutrients that support hormones, circulation, and brain health. It's where the cholesterol your body needs to build testosterone and estrogen resides, critical hormones for intimacy, energy, and emotional well-being. Next, think about how you cook them. Gentle cooking preserves the delicate fats and nutrients that give eggs their strength. Opt for boiled, poached, or softly scrambled eggs on low heat to retain their nourishing qualities. On the other hand, frying eggs in processed oils or cooking them at high temperatures can destroy the very compounds we're trying to protect. Timing also plays a big role. Eating eggs early in the day, at your first meal, gives your body the fuel it needs to balance hormones, regulate blood sugar, and establish a steady energy foundation that lasts. Pair them with dark leafy greens like spinach or arugula, and you'll boost their impact, helping nutrient absorption, supporting digestion, and improving blood flow where it's most needed. But maybe the most powerful benefit isn't just nutritional, it's emotional. By starting your morning with something intentional, warm, and nourishing, you're telling your body, I'm still here, I still care, and I want to feel alive. That alone can transform how you view your health and yourself. And just when you think an egg has done all it can, wait until you discover how it affects your most intimate moments. Because the next benefit isn't just about energy, it's about connection. Let's keep going. Still with me and finding these tips helpful? Drop a 2 in the comments to let me know. Now let's move on to the third point. Third, let's dive into the link between eggs, circulation, and intimacy. There's a quiet truth many people over 60 experience but rarely talk about. A sense of disconnection, not only from their partners, but from their own bodies. Slower blood flow, colder extremities, diminishing intimacy. It creeps in gradually until one day, you realize something deeply human has faded inside you. But what if something as familiar as an egg could help bring it back? The connection between eggs and intimacy isn't just nutritional, it's about restoring the vital pathways that allow closeness, circulation, hormone balance, and emotional readiness. And at the heart of all of this is blood flow, the silent force behind energy, touch, and desire. Eggs support this process in an unexpectedly elegant way. The L-arginine in eggs is a precursor to nitric oxide, a compound that helps blood vessels relax and expand. This simple biological action has far-reaching effects. When blood can flow freely, warmth, sensation, and arousal follow. For men, this often leads to firmer, more responsive erections. For women, it improves pelvic blood flow, comfort, and deeper physical connection. But the benefits extend beyond just the physical. Eggs nourish the endocrine system, helping regulate vital hormones like testosterone and estrogen, essential not only for sexual response, but also for emotional closeness, mood, and feeling fully alive in your body. What makes this so powerful is that eggs don't force your body into action. They support it. They don't impose synthetic solutions, but gently remind your body of its natural ability. For many older adults, this reminder is everything. It transforms routine into ritual, a meal into medicine, and intimacy into something vibrant again. Intimacy isn't just physical. It's deeply connected to how safe and energized we feel within ourselves. When circulation improves and hormones are balanced, that internal sense of security returns. You feel more confident, more comfortable, and more you. The most beautiful part? This renewed sense of connection doesn't stop in the bedroom. It flows into your daily life, in your energy, conversations, and laughter. And as we'll explore next, the emotional and relational changes that follow might be even more life-changing than the physical ones. Let's uncover that together. Fourth, real-life transformations. One of the most rewarding aspects of my work has been witnessing the changes that occur when people over 60 begin to reconnect with their health, their partners, and themselves. Not through drastic interventions, but through small, consistent acts of care, like eating eggs. Yes, something as simple as eggs has played a quiet but significant role in some of the most remarkable stories I've heard. I think of Harold, a 72-year-old retired teacher who came into my office looking worn out, with slumped shoulders and tired eyes. He told me he no longer felt connected to his body. His mornings were sluggish, his relationship had become more like a friendship, and although he loved his wife deeply, there was a quiet sadness between them. We didn't start with prescriptions. We started with 2 eggs every morning, gently boiled, paired with greens, and followed by a short walk. A few weeks later, he returned with a noticeable difference: lighter, steadier, and more awake. He wasn't suddenly 25 again, but his eyes were brighter and his laughter flowed more freely. He said, "We're talking more, holding hands again, and I didn't realize how far I'd drifted from myself." Then there's Martha, 68, who had been struggling with hormone imbalances and the discomfort it caused in her intimate life. She started incorporating eggs into her daily routine, not just for nutrition, but as an intentional act of self-care. It wasn't just her body that transformed, it was her confidence. She started wearing bright colors again, saying yes to new experiences, and embracing life more fully. These stories aren't unique because they're rare. They're unique because they're real, and they highlight something essential. The body can respond even after years of decline, not through force, but through kindness, nourishment, and belief. These transformations remind us that healing doesn't always make a big noise. Sometimes it arrives quietly with a spoon, a plate, and a simple choice made day after day. But here's where it gets even more beautiful. As the body heals, so does the heart. And that's where we're headed next, the part of the journey that no lab test can measure. Let's explore emotional intimacy and how food, presence, and connection are more deeply linked than we've been led to believe. 5. Gentle, natural results, not a quick fix. In a world that constantly promises instant solutions, it's easy to forget that the most meaningful changes often come quietly, without fanfare, urgency, or pressure. Especially after 60, when the body moves more slowly and the soul has learned the value of patience. What we seek isn't a jolt, it's restoration. And that's where eggs offer something truly special: gentle, natural results that last. Unlike medications that forcefully override your system with artificial intensity, eggs work in harmony with your body. They offer nourishment instead of noise. Each bite delivers steady support, rebuilding strength, balancing hormones, and gradually reawakening systems that have quietly fallen asleep. This isn't about chasing your 20-year-old self. It's about reclaiming comfort in the body you live in today. Over time, this gentle nourishment begins to create real change. Hands feel warmer, sleep deepens, mornings arrive with more clarity, and moments of intimacy no longer feel like effort, but a return to something familiar. There's a shift, not dramatic, but undeniable. A quiet confidence takes root, not because everything is perfect, but because your body is responding. This is the kind of transformation that can't be rushed. It happens in layers, slowly and sincerely. You begin to trust your body again, not for its youth, but for its wisdom, resilience, and its willingness to heal when given the right support. And in that trust, there is freedom. Freedom to connect, to explore, and to enjoy. What makes eggs remarkable isn't just their nutritional profile, it's their consistency. A humble egg doesn't try to be anything more than what it is, and that's exactly what many of us need at this stage of life. Something simple, reliable, and real. A quiet partner in our wellness journey. So if you've been searching for a solution that respects your age, honors your rhythm, and restores what matters without shaking your world, know this: you're not asking for too much, you're asking for the right kind of care, and you're just getting started. Because while eggs nourish the body, what comes next is about something even deeper: how the small daily act of feeding yourself well can awaken something far more powerful: hope. And that's exactly where we're headed next. 6. How to start today. Sometimes the most profound changes begin not with a grand gesture, but with a quiet decision, a moment of awareness, a simple choice. For many people over 60, the hardest part of reclaiming health and intimacy isn't knowing what to do. It's believing that small, consistent steps still matter. But they do. And one of the most powerful places to start is with something as humble as an egg. Beginning doesn't require a complete lifestyle overhaul. It doesn't ask you to count every calorie or give up everything you enjoy. It asks you to be present, to treat one meal a day as an act of care rather than obligation, to choose nourishment over neglect, and to do it gently without pressure. Start tomorrow morning. Instead of skipping breakfast or grabbing something processed and empty, take 10 quiet minutes to prepare something that supports you. Boil 2 eggs, add a handful of greens, maybe a slice of avocado. Eat slowly, without your phone, without rushing. Let the moment matter. You're not just feeding your body, you're sending it a message. I still care. I still want to feel good in this skin. I still want connection, energy, and joy. When you do this consistently, even just a few days a week, you'll begin to notice what many of my patients have experienced. Subtle shifts, a clearer mind, a steadier heartbeat, a return of warmth, not just to your hands and feet, but to your sense of self. Over time, that bowl of eggs becomes more than food. It becomes a ritual of self-respect. And remember, it's not about being perfect. There's no scoreboard here. What matters is the signal you send to your body each day, that you're not giving up, that you still expect it to rise to the occasion, and that you're willing to meet it halfway. That's where change begins. But this journey is more than physical, because as your body begins to heal and respond, something unexpected happens. Your emotions shift too. You begin to feel lighter, more open, more connected, not only to your partner, but to life itself. And in the next part of this journey, we'll explore why emotional intimacy after 60 might just be the most beautiful gift of all. Let's step into that together. Final thought. Your body still remembers. There is a quiet grief that many people carry with them as they age. The belief that certain parts of life are simply over. Passion, closeness, energy, desire. Not because they no longer matter, but because they feel out of reach. The body slows, the rhythm changes, and suddenly the version of you that once felt alive and vibrant seems like a distant memory. But here's the truth that matters most. Your body hasn't forgotten. It still remembers and it still wants to respond. Every breath you take, every beat of your heart, every drop of blood flowing through your veins is a testament to your body's willingness to keep showing up for you, even now. And when you begin to feed it what it needs, not just food, but kindness, intention, and consistency, something begins to awaken. The parts of you that once felt silent start to speak again. Not in loud declarations, but in gentle signs. Deeper sleep, a steadier mood, a warm touch that no longer feels unfamiliar. We often think of vitality as something reserved for the young, but vitality has nothing to do with age. It's about connection to yourself, to your partner, to the moment you're in right now. It's about choosing to show up fully, even if your body looks or feels different than it once did. And sometimes that choice begins with something as small as how you prepare your morning eggs. Because the truth is, your best days aren't behind you. They're just waiting for permission, waiting for you to remember what it feels like to nourish yourself from the inside out. Waiting for you to stop asking, is it too late? And instead start asking, what's possible now? You've spent a lifetime giving, building, working, caring, sacrificing. Now, maybe for the first time in years, you have a chance to give something back to yourself, to reclaim not your youth, but your aliveness, not your past, but your presence. And if you've made it this far, if something in these words has stirred even the smallest flicker of hope or recognition, then what comes next might just change everything. Because now we're stepping into the heart of it, the real reason this matters. Let's talk about connection and why it might be the most healing medicine of all.